Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Victoria, where last episode we won the war against Britain and Ukraine, which is kind of surprising. Kind of. In a weird sort of way. I mean, we prepared for it very thoroughly, I feel like, but even so, we were on a clock. We weren't going to be able to keep up that war forever, and that is painful, to be sure. Now, we're currently working on constructing a lot of infrastructure sort of things, and we've only got like 2.5 years left in this game. So that's, wait, is it? Yeah, like 2.5 years left in this game. So this may well be the final episode, or it might be the next episode. In fact, I kind of want to turn down the game speed a little bit here. And the reason why I want to do that is I just want to stretch out the last episode or two. It's a really weird thing to, like, want to do, right? Oh, automated bakery. Okay, cool. But I mentioned something about this in the most recent episode of Hearts of Iron that I recorded, right? I don't like having two games of the same, or rather two series of the same game going at the same time, especially when one of the games uses a mod, as is going to happen with this one, because we're going to be importing this into Hearts of Iron. So that's the issue here, is that Hearts of Iron is still ongoing, but I just in the last episode committed that next episode, episode 150, goodness, is going to be the final episode. And that's absolutely what I'm committing to, which means that ideally we should get 2 more episodes, including this one, out of this series. So that's why I turned down the speed a little bit, because the timing just isn't quite where we want it to be at this point. So I want to stretch this out into 2 episodes right at the end here, just for the purposes of that sort of meta timing. It's not necessarily ideal, but this is where we are. So we're currently building every single one of these at once. And the question is, once we finish these, what else are we going to need to build? And how bad is our finances going to be? Well, one thing to think about is when we go into Hearts of Iron, our finances are irrelevant, right? Hearts of Iron doesn't really have an economic component to it. It's pretty much just about fighting. I suppose unless you're playing as the East India Company, which that's a very abstract sort of economic component, right? It's abstracted into civilian factories, which is a weird way to do it, but okay. For a Hearts of Iron 5, I'll be honest, I would like to see an actual economy in it. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion from Hearts of Iron players, but Hearts of Iron is not my favorite Paradox game. And I think the lack of a proper economic system in it is a big part of the reason for that. But as of right now, we're playing Victoria, and the entire point of Victoria is the economic component. So that's absolutely wonderful. The real question, of course, is how close are we to getting some of these done? Okay, so the power plants in Erzurum are going to be done in just 2 weeks here. We've got 12 weeks overall on our construction. That's not real. That's fake. It's going to take 19 weeks to get these done. Okay, it's assuming that we're going to be able to redirect all of that, but we aren't. So it's actually going to be more like 20 weeks here. That's fine. I don't want to make any additional law changes. I think I'm happy with where our laws are going into Hoi. Not that our laws are really going to matter all that much, but that all seems fine. Now we have this rebellion brewing out over here. And this is very ambitious. I don't know why they think that they can win this when we just beat up Britain and Ukraine at the same time. And they don't have any troops. Honestly, we're just going to let our vassal take care of that. How are we doing on recovering our armies? Actually, quite well. A lot of our armies are now fully recovered. Fully half of our armies are recovered now. Over half now that the Knights just maxed out. The 13th is still a very long ways away. But all of the others are doing quite well at this time. So that's looking very, very good. I'm not sure why the 13th is so far away. It's really struggling with its manpower here. Yeah, that's very, very struggling. We Oh, we're under recruitment here. Right. Okay. Well, that's fine. So this revolt is broken out, and that's absolutely okay. Whatever. So they're going to start recovering a lot more quickly now that most of our armies are done, and we're able to focus our recruitment on the 13th. So that'll be a good thing. And at this moment, our population is number 3 in the world. I believe we're still behind Ukraine. Ukraine is the number 2 population, and Ming is the number 1. We have about half the population of Ming. So that's understood. Ukraine is going to be a big problem in Hearts of Iron. Ideally, what I'd like to do is ally with Britain against Ukraine in Hearts of Iron. But we also need to unify the planet before we go into Stellaris, right? And that's going to be interesting. So that's going to be very, very interesting indeed. So the Persians are immigrating, great, and the Tajiks are immigrating too. Sure, we can put them to work. How's our unemployment looking anyway? 1.25 million, okay, and 111k peasants. So our construction is proceeding here. And that's all completely understood. I do want to deal with at least some of our financial concerns. So that's going to be a very, very big deal. No doubt about it. So the railway in Israeli Tabriz is going to be finishing up very shortly, as is actually a lot of these railways are going to be finishing up right now. So that means that we're going to be able to take a look at how our situations are panning out as we get those finished. So we're currently, theoretically, 8 weeks is actually the correct amount. We're 8 weeks away from getting all of this railway finished up, at which point I want to take a look at these shortages and these market accesses. So a lot of these market accesses are probably going to be done by the time we get all of this completed. We do see some issues like this, though. This is an infrastructure issue. And if we look at the actual railway here, this is subsidized. We're just about to finish up a bunch of railways here. So that should be sorted. So we should let these finish and then give it a couple of weeks and then take a look. That's the idea here. Do we think that we have enough time to squeeze in an annexation of somebody like Alexandria here? That'd be nice, for sure. If we did, hypothetically, who would be angry? This would only be 14 infamy. And we're not predicting anybody actually joining. I'm doing it. So they're going to decline, obviously. And we'll see who actually is interested in joining this. Everybody's on the fence right now. Now, our militaries are basically recovered, with the exception of, I guess, the 14th and the 13th at this point. So that's absolutely fine. And we'll see who's interested in actually doing anything here. France is improving relations. They don't want anything to do with that. Britain and Scandinavia might, but to be honest, I don't think they actually will. Britain just lost their war against us with Ukraine, right? Do we not have a truce with them? Maybe it's over at this point. Let's... Diplomacy. Truces. We have a truce. 4 years left. Surely they're not going to violate their truce, right? I mean, maybe. But yeah, I'm interested in taking Alexandria over, and maybe even Al Said. These guys are a vassal, which is absolutely fine, but these have been a stain on our map for a while now. So that would definitely be great. We should be colonizing down over here as well, and we should be... Yeah, this is fine. We should work on colonization down over here. And how are we doing on this escalation? We've demanded their annexation, and that seems great. So the escalation is going okay. I'm going to start mobilizing here, and we're going to send them to this front. And the reason I'm doing this is just because I want to prove that we're serious about this war. So we're going to get these two armies mobilized and placed at each front. We're at plus 345k, so even with these armies mobilized, we're probably going to be spending down our debt, which is good. But I do want to take a look here. An electricity shortage in Cameroon will subsidize that. That should get dealt with. Market access in Algiers, and this is probably just needing to work on the railway. Get more people into that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. In Israeli Konya, this is an infrastructure issue. And we can just subsidize the railway. That's fine. In Abruzzo, what do we got going on here? This is also an infrastructure issue, and the railway is subsidized. We just need people to work here. Okay, so that should be absolutely fine. I don't think anybody's going to join this. I really don't. France is improving their opinion with us. We're truced with Ukraine. We're truced with Britain. Scandinavia we're truced with, I believe, as well. No, they never joined. But Scandinavia's got to be super scared of us if they don't have any other big boys with them. Same with Portugal. So I don't think anybody's going to interfere with this. We're halfway done with the escalation at this time. I don't think there's any other war goals we could add. So we're just going to let our infamy drop off a little bit. And I'd love to get Al Said taken as well. I don't think we actually can. Unless we try to make them our protectorate diplomatically. We might be able to do that. After we're done with this war, though. And this war should not take long. So this sounds great. The escalation is continuing, as we would expect. And at this point, I want to check in here. So Israeli North Cameroon is still a bit of an issue. Market access in Abruzzo, still a bit of an issue here. We just need people to work here. So we need to grow our population of people that are wanting to work in this area, right? We just don't have anyone here. So we need, like, migration. And that is indeed happening. So that seems good. No issue there. And this war is about to break out. So that seems absolutely wonderful as well. Himalayan people are mass immigrating. Beautiful. Hopefully we can put them to work in the railroads in Abruzzo. And no one joined, as we would expect. We don't want anyone to join, to be honest. So this is absolutely wonderful. These guys, Britain still hasn't declared neutrality. They can't join at this point. We're in the countdown to war. Nothing can happen here. So this is absolutely fine. We're to crush Alexandria and get them taken over very, very quickly. This was something that we intended to do back in Europa and just kind of never got around to. And we'll see about Al Said. I'm really interested in getting them taken care of as well. Now there's this up over here that's happening yet again, and we'll see what ends up happening with that. It looks like they've got that under control, so I'm not too concerned about it. We are working on paying down our debt, but it's kind of slow at this moment, and there's that war breaking out. We'll have no problem with this. We're completely unopposed on this front. On this front, they've got a couple of units. This is not a big deal. So that's looking absolutely fine. And we'll just occupy our way through Alexandria here with no issue. We expect this to be very smooth. We're the number 2 world power at this point, and our prestige rank at being number 2 is a little awkward. We're the number 2 economy as well, which is absolutely understood. We're number 49 in literacy. We've never been able to get off of the education system that we're on, which is kind of unfortunate. But concrete fortifications have been unlocked, which, you know, isn't that big of a deal. But we can absolutely work on a military tech down here, like chemical warfare or mobile armor. We'll grab mobile armor. That'll be fine. I don't know that we'll have that before the end of the game, though. 28 months? I don't think so. So that's absolutely fine. We'll get Alexandria taken care of here. And that seems wonderful. This escalation is still proceeding. We're just ignoring that. Okay, there we go. It's fully occupied. They capitulated. We've now got that under our control. So that is wonderful. We're going to want to start integrating those states if we can. We're not going to get them done in time, but we want to get started on it anyway. So that seems fine. And then I want to reset production methods in these areas as well. So that would be right down over here. Everywhere else should be fine. And do we not have power here? Did they never build power plants? Hang on. Yeah, they never built power plants here. Wild. Did they ever build at least one level of railway? They did not. Okay. So that's understood. This has at least one level of power plant and railway. So that's fine. We'll get these started. That's going to take a while, but that's absolutely understood. So these guys are going to demobilize. Actually, we need this to end first, which will end very shortly. They don't appear to be making progress. We have these guys mobilized anyway. I'm going to send them up to the front. As soon as this war is over, these will demobilize. We could early demobilize these, but this war could end at any moment if these just actually attacked, right? So I don't think early demobilization is actually that useful of a thing right now. Oh, it just wasn't actually in war yet. Okay, so that's going to wrap up, but is it going to wrap up before or after we get there? I don't know. We'll find out. That's absolutely fine. So about 1 year has passed so far in this episode, and yeah, that means that we're on about the right timing pace at this point. So that's exciting, and we're going to wrap up this war incredibly quickly. The real question is, once that's done, can we do anything diplomatically with Al Said? I'd like to get them at least to be our protectorate. That would be ideal. So this is, of course, going to get absolutely crushed. There's no one defending on the other side, and this is going to be very swift. There we go. They capitulated, and we need a new general here. That'll be, I guess, this guy. Cool. So that looks fine. If we look here, we can see we've got 101,000 strength at this point, which is a lot, and the 13th is still working on getting itself reinforced. In fact, I think it's less reinforced than it was before. So that's exciting. It's stationed in the Balkans HQ. So I'm guessing that we just don't have much recruitment available here. Yeah, we need to get a lot of recruitment done. So that's very awkward. No doubt about it. Well, we'll just continue to struggle away at that for now. That's relatively fine. So at this moment, I want to check in here. Transportation shortage in Houseland. So let's take a look at what we've got going on there. This is a growing colony. So that just means that we need to get a railway and a power plant built here basically as soon as we can. Market access in Hejaz is at 99%. This port exists, but what we really need, I think, is just one level of railway here. Let's get that in there. That'll be fine. In Abruzzo, we're still trying to get people employed into the railway here, and that's mostly what we need there. In Deir ez-Zor, what do we got going on here? We could use another level of railway, I think. We'll get that building. That will be absolutely fine. Otherwise, that looks good. How's our market looking? Oil, iron, engines. I'm not surprised about that situation. So we do have iron mines that we can build in Armenia, but that is in our market. So I'm going to build those. We have a lead mine that we can build. Oh, actually, that's quite a lot of lead mines in Erzurum, which we're very interested in building. So let's get those going. Oil rigs available in Al Said. Okay, that's in the French market. That's not super useful, but it's fine for now. So in Israeli Lower Egypt, we can get some sulfur production. Not a lot. And then we've got a few logging camps that we can build. Let's just get these completely done. It's not going to take long. Some of these are foreign constructions, but that's absolutely okay. So we'll get that going, and then we've got a couple of fishing wharves that we can build as well. It'll be fine. We are absolutely going to have some issues with our construction costs, I think, but for the moment, it doesn't really matter. We're not in any danger of like declaring bankruptcy before going to Hoi, and that's fine. So at this point, we can just queue these up. There we go. That'll do. Now we don't have much for agriculture construction built, and that's absolutely understood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these right now, and I'm going to sort by earnings. If any of these are up over 1K and are buildable, then we're going to build them. So like here in Basra, we'll get those constructed. Here we've got some vineyards in Constantine, and that's it for now. That's over 1K. Same here, not too much there that's over 1K. And then coffee plantations in Al Said, okay. Israeli North Cameroon seems fine, and Israeli Houseland. So cotton plantations would be next. That all looks good. Dye plantations, that's fine. We can definitely get some opium plantations going in here. And having access to opium is generally very good, but that's not going to be very relevant for very long, so that's fine. Sugar plantations, tea plantations, that's over 1K, and tobacco plantations, what do we got here? Most of these have already been built. So I do want to go through again, and now we're going to do anything that is over 0.75. So this is going to be livestock ranches here. There we go. And then vineyards. So that's fine. Wheat farms, what do we got here? Nothing. Cotton plantations, nothing. Sugar plantations, nothing there. Tea plantations. Okay, that we can definitely put in. And a tobacco plantation here. That's up over 0.75. Okay, so now our threshold is 0.5. So going down through here, this is up over 0.5. And I'm just going to max it out. There we go. And then vineyards. Okay, once again, I'm just going to max these out. Wheat farms, angling for 0.5, nothing there. Cotton plantations, nothing. Sugar, nothing. Tea, that's 0.25. And tobacco. Okay, now we're going to do 0.25. We just want to have these be relatively optimal-ish, right? So that'll be okay. So we'll do something like that, and then vineyards are done. Wheat, we are at 0.17. Cotton, we are at nothing. And tea plantations, 0.25. Done. And no tobacco plantations. Okay, now anything that is possible to build. And that's all of our agriculture. Okay, beautiful. So that looks good. There's our agriculture maxed out. There's our resources theoretically maxed out, although there's a logging camp that we can build somewhere, 2, and fishing wharves that we can build somewhere. There's 2 of those as well. So let's get those going, and let's get these going. Perfect. That looks good. Now, I do want to get some motor industries going here. Or actually, yeah, motor industries. Let's see here. Let's sort by this. Baghdad. So we're going to do 5. That brings us up to 43. That brings us up to 48. And then I'm going to do 2 additional. Okay. And I want to move those to the top of the queue. So we'll get those done nice and quick there. Perfect. It is approximately time to put a cut in here. It's a couple minutes early, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will very likely be ending this series and moving on to Hearts of Iron. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.